All right, everybody, we're back in business. Let's finish off Lab 10 steps 1 and 2. And hang with me here for just a few more minutes. So some important things to go over to finish this up. Okay, so we're headed back to the instructions here, and let's see where we are in the instructions. Just go through this, okay? He calls this diagnostics. A possible data error in earlier steps can cause major heartache matching the anticipated row inserts. That means your labs 6 and 7 and 8 and 9, if they are not perfect, may cause you errors trying to do these inserts. So these diagnostic steps can help you troubleshoot, but you don't have to do these. If everything is working for you, you don't necessarily have to do these. Okay, so so if you're having issues trying to do the joins, check the join condition between the member and contact table. And if you do a count, you should have 15 contacts, right? And each one is linked to a membership, and this will verify that, okay? So be here. Check the join condition between the contact and transition upload tables. It should return 11,520 rows. If this is not correct, fix the first name, middle name, or last name values in the contact table, or check whether you have the current CSV file. Okay, so you do have the current CSV file. That won't be your problem. But, excuse me, if you left out Lily Luna's middle name in your insert in Lab 6, then that will cause you a problem. All right, so you can verify that join by selecting from contact, inner join, transaction upload, first name, NVL, middle name, and last name, and you should get 11,520 rows, which means everything joined up correctly, and your names in the transaction upload table match the names in the properly in the contact table. Okay. C, check the join condition between the member and contact tables and join those two tables with transaction upload. So he's incrementally building up, right, verifying as he's building this larger select, or you can use it in that way, right, to incrementally build up your select statement and make sure you're doing each join correctly. So if you do this one, select count, and join member and contact on member ID, and then join the transaction upload table on first name, middle name, last name, and the account number. Oh, that looks familiar, right? Right, there's your code right there for those joins. And you should get 11,520, meaning everything joined up correctly. Hello, Jet. Did you come to visit me? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's my grandson there, Jet. Okay, we'll see how it goes with him here. Okay. See there, there it is for you. Okay. Okay, and then D. Did you insert the correct foreign key value in the member ID column of the contact table when you added the Potter family? Did you get them joined to the right contact? Did you insert an address for each of the Potter family? Do they all live in Utah? Did you insert the correct foreign key value in the contact ID of the address table? So I have scrutinized your labs, right? And that's why, because I want you to get to this point and have all that data correct. Hopefully it is. All right, H and I, again, making sure that you've done everything in the previous labs correctly. Okay, so here's what you do. You run your query, your select statement, and it should give you these results like this. You might have different created by and updated by values. It might be 1 or 2 or 3. This is what you should get. Important here, 4,681 rows. Now, in your log file, I don't want to see 4,681 rows. All right, neither do you. So you see the statement here. You just see the following results are redacted to the first 4 and last 4 lines. And so redacted means reduced. So take out in your log file, just go and delete all those middle, leave the first 4 rows, the last 4 rows, and delete everything out in the middle. And you can select one row, and then you can use Shift Select, and that will do a that will select everything in between, and hit delete, and you can delete out all those middle results. Okay, so that's a validation. Running your select statement and getting this result is the first real validation here. Okay, now these next steps you have to do. These are not optional diagnostic steps. This is what you have to do now. Okay, after you query the rows and you've got your select working, now you're going to do a before count. So select count as rental count from rental. Okay, so we're going to count the number of rows you have currently in your rental table, and you should have 8 rentals in your rental table. Okay, and then you'll do the insert after you insert the records. So then you run your insert with the select embedded. Yeah, hang on. And then you do this count again. So select count as rental after count from rental, and you should get this result, 4,689 rows, which is your 4,681 from the transaction upload plus your 8. And that validates that your insert worked correctly. You got all the rows inserted when you end up with that number. Okay? All right. Got that? Okay. Hang on. Okay. Go back and share my screen again. And we'll now move to step 2. Okay? The second select statement requires that you inserted values into the rental table in the last step. Okay, have to have that insert in the rental table first. It also leverages the joins that you worked out in the first select statement. Don't try to reinvent the wheel because it isn't profitable in this case. Okay, so the query to support the select statement in the rental item table should return 11,520 rows, right? Because we have 1 row in the transaction upload table for each item, rental item, right? And the distinct operator isn't in the select statement. You don't use the distinct this time, right? Because we're doing rental items. So we don't need to throw out duplicates. We're going to get all of those items and insert them. So forget this line here. The distinct keyword is required to verify your SQL statement returns the right number of rows. No. Okay, no distinct in this query. Okay. So just forget this paragraph here where he's talking about distinct. Okay. You see, I'll show you how to. So this is what we did in the first one, where we did have to use distinct. Okay, so now you'll see this select here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go back to the pseudocode and just kind of show you how to build the correct select statement here. So this right here may not be as useful because there is no distinct in step number 2. Okay. After you've created the first query for the select statement to the rental table, all you need to do for the select statement in the rental item table is the following. Okay, so what he's saying is the from clause with all the joins from step 1, you're going to reuse that. You use that exactly as it is. Okay, that's your starting point, and you're going to add some more joins to it. But your from clause with all the joins from step 1, that is your starting point. And so join the foregoing result set. The foregoing result set is a result set of the prior join, meaning all the joins from step 1. And the last thing we did was a left join on the rental table, right? And so with that as the starting point, now we're going to join to the common lookup table, and we're actually going to join twice to the common lookup table. And because, anyway, you'll see why. And then after the 2 joins to the common lookup table, then join the foregoing result set to the rental item table on a left join. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing with the rental item table that we did with the rental table. We do this left join, and so that we pick up everything on the left, all the results that our other joins get, and then when we join the rental item table, we're not going to get any matches, but we just need that rental item ID column as a null value, right? So we can then in our insert we can change that null to a rental item ID using the sequence in the next val function. Okay. Remove the distinct operator. So here, okay, is where he says remove the distinct and restructure the select clause list because we're selecting now those things that need to go into the rental item table. Okay. Let's pause right there. And go to and go back to the pseudocode. Okay. So this little corner here are some notes, some pseudocode notes for you for step 2. Right? You should be able to construct step 2. So insert into, well, let's just look at the select first, and then we'll wrap it in the insert. Okay, so your select will be, again, the NVLRI.RentalItemID, just like we had to do over here with the rental ID, because our result set will have a null value in that rental item ID column. Okay, and then in your select list, what are the columns that go into the item table, rental item table? You put those in. A couple of them to mention here. The I'm sorry, I said 2 joins to the common lookup table. In this step, it's only 1 join to the common lookup table. In step 3, you will do 2 joins to the common lookup table. Okay, sorry about that. So 1 join to the common lookup table. And you'll have the common lookup ID as the rental item type, and then the transaction amount is the rental item price. Now, the other store added a 6% sales tax, right? So what we will do here is take out the 6% sales tax by dividing by 1.06. Okay, so we'll use tu.transaction amount, which will be 3.18, and divide that by 1.06. That will come out to be 3, right? $3 for a and we'll put that in as the rental item price. Okay. Down to the additional things in the join, in the from clause with the joins, and I should have talked about those, before I talked about the select columns, because that's how Oracle works, right? Oracle works on going to the tables, doing the joins first, then at the end going and looking at the columns in the select statement and pulling out those values for the columns last. Okay, so on the join, so we start with the join from step 1, all of the joins from step 1. The last thing being our left join on the rental table. And then we do an inner join on the common lookup table with an alias of CL on common lookup, on cl.commonLookup table, where it's rental and the common lookup column rental item type, and common lookup type equals tu.rental item type. Okay, and that will get us the correct common lookup ID in the common lookup table. Okay. And then here is our left join on the rental item, and again, when we're doing this left join on the rental item, we join on the rental ID, right, where the rental ID, ri.rental ID equals r.rental ID. Okay, all right. Let me pause there for 1 moment. All right, so now let's go back to our lab instructions, and this select statement once you complete it, should give you these results. Now you'll see that the rental item price here is 3.18. If you, is it 3.18 or 3.08? I guess 3.18 is maybe the 6%. Okay. So if you don't divide by 1.06, you'll get 3.18. You divide by 1.06 and you'll get the rental item price of $3. This would be $3 here instead of 3.18. Okay, and again, so you see 11,520 rows, but I don't want to see 11,520 rows in your log file, and so make it another redacted table, right? Go in and delete out all of those rows in between, and then again we do the before count, then we run the insert, and then we do the after count. Okay, so select count as rental item before count, rental item, you should have 13, and then you do the insert and run that, and then after the insert, then do select count as rental item after count, and you should get 11,533, which is 11,520 plus 13. Okay, one more time, let's go back to the pseudocode, and again, step 2 down here in this corner. So in step 1, we had to do this distinct down here in the from clause, and then nested down here, and then we had this select here, and then the insert. Because we're not using distinct on step 2, then we don't have to have this 2 layers of selects. Okay? So you can just say insert into rental item and then select nvl.ri.rental item ID and your columns, your other rental item columns here, and then your from with all of your joins and your from clause. Okay. This structure that we used in step 1 will work. It's fine if you use it in step 2. It's just one more level of one more layer, right, of a select, but not necessary. And you can just insert into rental item, select, and there's your select statement nested inside of this insert statement. Okay, that's it. Let me think just for a moment if I've missed anything else. We are now on step 3, and there's a separate video I'll give you that I made last semester for step 3. Okay. Get with Nick. Reach out to your peers. If you get stuck, don't stay stuck very long. Okay. Work at it, but get some help and get through it. This is definitely the most challenging lab that we have in the semester. Okay, so hang in there and get through this one. Okay.